welcome back to Think Outside the Board. I am your host, Brian Toohey. And with this video, I wanted to make something that talked a little bit about changes that are coming up in 2021 for my website, this YouTube channel, and a bunch of other platforms. So let's kick things off beginning with the website. I run a website, and I have been for the last 2 years, called thinkoutsideTheBoard.com. Primarily, it has been focusing on two different columns, one called Previously on Kickstarter, and in which I report on the previous day's launched Kickstarters. Most of them, not all of them. I tend to do a little bit of quality control and not talk about things that are just, kind of a get-rich-quick scheme or, obviously have not had a lot of work or effort put into them. But everything else I try to report on, and I always do try to focus on small indie developers and give them their due when they're presenting something that's worthy of people's time and energy. So that column is going to continue for the foreseeable future. The other column, which is called Kickstart This, and focuses more specifically on Kickstarter projects that I want to recommend to you, that is going away. So there are going to be two more entries in that series. Winter Queen, which I'm recording this on Monday. Winter Queen, I believe, finishes their Kickstarter on Thursday of this week on the 31st. So there'll be an entry in that column going up probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. And then there'll be one final entry, which I'll probably post a little ahead of time on December 31st, and that will be for ISS Vanguard, which is actually not on Kickstarter. It's the Awaken Realms project that they're using ISS and Vanguard to sort of break in GameFound as not only a pledge manager system, but also a Kickstarter competitor where companies will be able to go and fund their games there. Just another crowdfunding site. And normally I like to get my Kickstart This entries up within 5 days of the campaign concluding, but I'm going to be doing it a little bit early on ISS Vanguard because I want to get that entry done before the end of 2020, before the end of the year. That column will not exist anymore. I'll still have the old entries up, but I won't be publishing future entries in that column. And the reason is that in general, I'm going to be making a much bigger switch over to video content on YouTube and hopefully eventually streaming on Twitch. So everything's shifting in that direction. And I have been doing these monthly update videos on this channel, this YouTube channel, for the last 6 months or so. I've been doing 2 a month. And one of the sections of those videos, I talk about currently running Kickstarters. So essentially, I'm already kind of duplicating what I'm doing in those written Kickstart This columns. And this whole thing right now is a one-man operation. It's just me. And I'm finding that the publication of the written Kickstart This columns are requiring enough time. Like there are weeks where I was publishing 2 a day, and they could take me maybe 2.5 hours a day per column. So if I was doing 2 of those in one day, if I had a week, where I was doing 10 in 1 week or 2 a day from Monday to Friday, that could be occupying a good 5 hours a day each day. And I think that time is going to be better spent making videos. So on that front, I'd like to talk about some changes to the YouTube channel. And lately I've kind of been experimenting with content a little bit. Mostly filming on my phone. So I hope that over the next year I'll be upgrading equipment, perhaps getting some more cameras, maybe some lighting equipment, and just kind of improving the quality of these videos overall. So that's one goal. But I am going to be focusing for the foreseeable future in the YouTube channel, or on the YouTube channel, on 3 types of videos. So one will continue to be the monthly videos, the monthly update videos, which are actually bi-monthly update videos. I do them twice a month. So that way I can try to be a little more current with the content. I think if I was trying to get everything for 1 month all in one video, that I would miss things, over the course of that month. And by the time I got around to them, their campaigns could have come and gone. So those videos will continue to be twice a month. And I will continue the format of these videos, which they're broken into 4 sections. The first section is currently running Kickstarters. The second section is games that I've acquired since the previous video. The third section are games that I've personally backed on crowdfunding sites. That's just been Kickstarter to date, but who knows? If GameFound becomes really popular this year, it could change where I'm pulling those funding entries from. And then finally, games that I've played. So those videos will continue. The 2 types of videos that I'm adding to my kind of slate of production here are first impressions videos. And those are going to be focused on games that are not new to me. So it's not, if I get a new game, I'm not necessarily doing a first impressions video. But these videos will be focused on Kickstarters that have just delivered or retail games that have just released. So anything that is new to the world. And my purpose with this is to try to get some kind of quick video out very early, in when a game is brand new, so that someone who has heard about a game or is thinking, about a game and whether or not it would be right for them, I want to give you guys a video that you can watch in 5 or 10 minutes that will give you the basics of gameplay very quickly, just kind of like a show, and then a couple impressions. So I'll be making these videos after I give the game a first play. So I will have some personal experience with them. But they're going to be short videos just designed to give you enough of a taste of the game so you hopefully will know if you like it or not. And the goal is to get them published very, very quickly when they're out there in the world so that they're useful. And I'm also hoping that, when I publish these, I'll also be posting them to Board Game Geek. So I'm hoping that will help drive more people to the site. And the third kind of video that I'll be doing is a more or less standard teach and review. So this will in general be a full teach, unlike with the first impressions video where I'm just going to give you, enough to sate you, to give you an idea of whether it's right for you. This will be a more thorough full teach. I may cheat the teach a little bit if I'm doing really heavy games, just not to explain every tiny little, those kind of like contradictory rules. But we'll see. I'm going to take it from game to game as I go. But in general, for the most part, it will be a full teach. And then I will give my opinions on the game. But I'm never going to be talking about, whether this game is a 9 or a 10 or a 2 or a 3. The goal here is for me to tell you if I liked it or not, why I liked it or I didn't, whether it's a kind of game that I would normally like. So you can kind of like take that into account. And also, who the game would be right for. So if I don't like it, it still might be right for a lot of people out there. So it's going to try to be evaluative, and I'll give my opinions. But it's not going to be me sort of giving an objective grade or anything. It's just going to be me talking about the games as if it was a conversation in which you, the other half, is just listening for the moment of the video. But as always, I would love any feedback and comments and conversation happening in the comments section of those videos, and then we can actually have a conversation about them. The first thing in those teach review videos that you'll find will be the teach, and then at the end will be my thoughts on the game. But in the middle, I'm also going to break things down a little bit and give you some more information about the game. And so this is the format that this will follow. First, I'm going to talk about the creator of the game, both the publisher, as well as the designer and the artists, and maybe talk a little bit about some of their other games, just to give you an idea of, where the sort of pedigree producing this game has come from. I will talk to you about some of the game stats, like length, complexity, and genre, so you'll have a good idea if it's a game for you or not. I'll be talking about the theme and the production quality. So you'll know if it's a theme that appeals to you and sort of how well made the game is, whether it's really pretty and they've, put a lot of time and money and energy into it, or whether it's just kind of like spare cardboard components, and that's not always a make or break, right? Sometimes there's games that are not that well produced that are still really good games, but we'll be talking about that. Then I will go into the gameplay loop. And to me, this is kind of like the critical issue here. Because if you think about a video game or anything else, a board game, there's something you're going to be doing in that game over and over and over on your turn. And whether other people say that the game is good or bad or whatever, I think your enjoyment of the game largely falls to that gameplay loop. If this is the thing that you're doing over and over and over, do you enjoy doing that thing? If you enjoy doing that thing, you're probably going to like the game. If you don't enjoy doing that thing, it doesn't matter how good the game is. It doesn't matter if it's the best of its kind. If you don't enjoy doing that thing, you're not going to enjoy doing that thing over and over and over, and you're not going to like the game. So the gameplay loop, I feel, is very central to you knowing if you like a game, and that will be the fourth thing that I'll be talking about in these teach review videos in terms of this breakdown that I'm covering. The fifth thing will be replayability. So for some games like narrative campaign games and that go on and on and on, there's a lot of replayability on one hand, but on the other hand, when you finish that campaign, sometimes it's done, right? You can't go back. Some campaign games allow you to go back and restart and play again. Some don't. And there are also games like, Chronicles of Crime or Detective City of Angels or Deadline or Detective, I think it's called a modern crime board game. All those games have cases that you solve and then you're done. You can't really play them again once you know the solutions. So those sorts of games, as well as like the unlock games or the exit games, they have very little replayability. So I'll be talking about that as well. And sometimes if the game is really well made, for instance, I'm kind of making my way through Chronicles of Crime 1400 right now, it's still worth getting the game. It's a great game. But you should know going in, you're going to have X amount of plays or hours, and then it's going to be done. And then you can sell it or give it away or donate it, whatever you want to do. But the gameplay for you will be done. So that's the fifth thing. And the final thing is the comparisons. So, what kind of game is this like? So that will be the third video. It'll have the teach, it'll have the section I just described, and then it'll have kind of my larger overall thoughts and who I think will enjoy the game or won't. And that's my plan for the YouTube channel for the next year. That will be what I am focusing on. And I'm also on Instagram, and I'm starting to post more on that. Every time I play a new game, I'm taking some pictures, I'm putting it up, I'm tagging it. So you can also find me on Instagram. And all of the kind of social media stuff will be down in the description video. So the description of the video. So you can go down there and look at it if you want to see where I am. I'm also on Facebook, and you can add me there. I tend to, right now I'm actually posting a lot on Facebook because whenever I play a new game with my fiance, I'm putting some pictures up on Facebook and talking about the game a little bit. So I would only ask that if you friend me on Facebook, just include a little note so I know where you're from. Just say, board game related or found you on YouTube or something. And then I'll know you're not just spam, and I'll add you to my friends list on Facebook. Finally, I'm on Twitter, which I generally use kind of just to promote the website and the YouTube channel. So you can find me on there. That's also going to be down below. And then the last thing is this channel, which I'll obviously continue to post these videos on YouTube, but I'll also be posting them on my site at Think Outside the Board. Okay, and then there are two more things that are going to be coming up eventually this year. First will be a Patreon, and I'm not sure when that's going to go live, maybe January, maybe February. And the idea is that I don't think I want to really kind of bottleneck content, but I may eventually produce like a bonus video or two or something that are only for subscribers. I think I'll probably go more the route of allowing higher levels of subscribers to help pick games that I'm going to be covering and voting on for various things. So that is coming. And then sometime in 2021, this is what I'm hoping to build towards, is live streaming games. And I'll probably be doing that several days a night, but I need to kind of see where everything else goes and how that's going to slot in. My original idea was that I would have 4 different nights, one that would focus on kind of like solo games, one that would focus on ongoing campaign play. So I'd kind of pick a game and we'd be playing through it for a while. One that would be more kind of medium light games, and then the fourth night would be kind of heavier stuff. But that's a lot to do, so I'll probably start cherry picking some part of that and working with that more heavily and specifically to start. And then hopefully once that gains some success, I'll be able to kind of add in the other stuff. And eventually I would love to kind of build a little studio where I can kind of shoot in and have all this equipment and things. But I think that's even further down the line. We'll see. But these are all kind of plans for 2021 and the order that I'm planning to attack them. Like I said, the first focus is going to be a little bit of a shift away from the written columns on the site. I'm ending that one column, kickstart this, and a shift towards videos. Now, I plan on getting these first impression videos out, maybe 4 or 5 of them a week. Like, they're not going to be that long. They're going to be 5 or 10 minutes. So I want to stay current with a lot of new stuff. So I'm actually going to be front loading a little bit. I'm going to be covering games that I've been playing that are new starting in November, which means I'm going to read you a list here. These are the games that will be getting first impressions videos first. So these are going to be the kind of first slate of first impressions videos you'll be seeing. They'll probably start going up next week. I may be getting 4 to 5 a week. So what I'm about to read off to you will be the first several weeks of these videos, okay? Chronicles of Crime, 1400, Fossilis, Last Aurora, Rococo Deluxe, Century Golem and Endless World, Dwellings of Eldervale, Excavation Earth, Seven Bridges, Waste Nights, Whistle Mountain, Import Export, that's the new edition that is arriving very soon, Kanban EV, and Sleeping Gods. So that's going to be the first slate of those. And then if you watch my videos, you'll be able to see, what games I have kind of coming in, and anything that I have coming in that's either a brand new Kickstarter or something that's, a new retail release that I've just gotten that's new to the world. For the most part, those games will all continue to get first impressions videos. Most of those games will then get the full kind of teach and review production. Not all of them, but a lot of them. In addition, I'm also probably going to be producing full teach and review videos for these games. And they're not in the previous list because these are not as new. Century Golem Edition, Century Golem Edition Eastern Mountains, and I should note that I now have all 3 Century Golem games, so I probably will also do teach videos for all of the variants that use the various games, which is there are 4 variants in addition to the 3 games. So there's a variant that uses the first and second game, a variant that uses the first and third game, one that uses the second and third game, and one that uses all 3. So I likely will be producing a total of 7 teach and review videos for the Century Golem, trilogy of games. Then also Unmatched Cobble and Fog, The Crew, The Quest for Planet 9, and the Ancient World 2nd Edition. So that's kind of my slate of videos that'll be coming up for the next month, or running into February. Also, I plan on doing a best of 2020 list. And I think the way that I'm going to produce this, because I've been seeing different people's takes on this, and some people think that reprints should not be included. And part of me agrees with that. But I've been playing some pretty good reprints, including the new Rococo Deluxe Edition. So how I've decided that I'm going to do this is I am going to record my top 10 of 2020, and it probably won't show up until around March because I'm going to be busy with all these other videos. And then on top of that, I know I still have about 20 games currently in my collection that came out in 2020 that I want to play. And there are a handful of other games that I may pick up and play, but we'll have to see about those additional ones. But there are a half dozen out there that I really, really want to play, and I don't want to, not include, like the Lost Ruins of Arnak. That's one of them. So once I make it through these games, I'll be doing a top 10 of 2020. What I think I'm going to do, though, is any reprints that I would slot in with those, you'll basically get bonus entries. So it'll kind of be like right now, I'm not going to reveal all of my list to you. But from what I've played so far, and this is going to change quite a bit because I've got at least 20 more games to play. But from what I've played so far, my number 2 game right now is On Mars. My number 3 game is The Isle of Cats. So Rococo Deluxe Edition for me, I think goes in between those. So when I do my list, I'll give you my top 10. But then like when I do The Isle of Cats, I'll say, hey, we've got a reprint here, and it's going to be 2.5. So that would be Rococo Deluxe Edition. So as I kind of, back up my list from 10 to 1, anything that I think, should get slotted in there will be a bonus game for the video. So yeah, right now Rococo Deluxe Edition would be 2.5. But that's the way my top 10 will be formatted when I eventually finish playing the games I need to play to produce it and then get it filmed. Anyway, this video I'm recording on Monday. I plan to get it up today, if not in the morning. As I said, you'll see a Kickstart This column appearing for Winter Queen either today or Tuesday. Then ISS Vanguard will have a Kickstart This entry that goes up on Thursday, the 31st, and then we'll be done with Kickstart This. Also this week, you should see a video, my first monthly update for January. So that'll be coming out. There are not very many currently running Kickstarters because December is just such a slow month. So the ISS Vanguard will be the only game that I'll be profiling as a currently running Kickstarter, even though it's not a Kickstarter. It's on GameFound, but currently running crowdfunding game. However, I have played quite a few games since the last video, so the section where I'm talking about played games will be pretty substantial. Then I plan to get out a teaching video, or not, a gameplay video for the Seventh Continent, which is kind of like old stuff in my mind. I did a teach for the Seventh Continent, and it was always my plan to do a playthrough of the Crystal Song Curse that also kind of shows people how to get off the island and also shows you where the first hidden number is. So I'll be producing that video this week. So this week you should get 3 videos. This one, the early January monthly update, and the Seventh Continent video. And then next week, once we start 2021, things are gonna get fast and furious, and these first impression videos are gonna start flying right at you in large numbers, followed by the teach videos as I can kind of slot them in and around. And I'm currently working my way through Chronicles of Crime 1400. So my plan is that when I do the kind of teach and review video for that, I will have all the cases played. So I will be speaking about that game from a very knowledgeable point of view, other than just having played like a case. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching this. Please, if this video spoke to you, please please subscribe, and then if you want to be notified as I publish future videos, including all of this great content that's going to be coming soon, you can hit the alarm bell and you will be notified every time a new video gets published. And also, again, please, anything you want to talk about in the comments section, let's have conversations and talk about these games. And let's continue to do that as I start to throw this slate of first impressions and teach and reviews videos at you guys in the next month. So thank you. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season. I know it's really rough right now with the pandemic and quarantining and things like that. I think we're all trying our best to get through this, but hang in there. Vaccines are on the way. We have a new president incoming, and I think 2020 will start to switch things back on the right foot. And hopefully at some point in this year, we'll be able to start playing lots of games together again. I really look forward to that. And perhaps at some point I'll be playing games with you. I'd like to. I'd like to get out there and play some more games in person. All right, thanks again. Take care.